quiet, remote village, there lived a man known simply as the Wise. His wisdom, born from years of experience and contemplation, attracted people from far and near. They would come seeking advice, hoping to find clarity in their lives. While the sage, the old man with calm eyes and a warm smile, was sitting in front of his hut, a young man came to him, looking exhausted and frustrated. Young man, sitting heavily and starting to speak. "Oh, wise man, I feel like my life is slipping away from me without achieving anything. Every time I try, I feel like the days pass meaninglessly, as if I'm stuck in an endless cycle of failure." The sage listened silently, nodding his head in understanding. Then he reached into his robe pocket and took out an old hourglass, placing it gently on the table between them. Al-Hakim, quietly, "Tell me, my son, what do you see?" Young man, sighing, "I see the sand falling from top to bottom. It's just an hourglass." The wise man, smiling softly, "Do you think that grains of sand can return to the top after they fall?" Young man, shaking his head, "No. Once you're down, you stay down." The wise man's voice is calm but full of meaning. He told him this is true. Like an hourglass, our lives are the same. Every moment that passes never comes back. But he stops, looking at the young man. There's something else. The young man's curiosity increases. He looks at the sage, waiting for his next words. Al-Hakim, after a pause, "Do you know when the hourglass will stop working?" Young man, after a moment's thought, "When all the sand at the top runs out." The sage smiles again, this time with deeper wisdom in his eyes. Then the sage slowly holds the hourglass, and the sound of the sand stops for a short while. He turns the clock over, and the sand begins to flow again. The sage, calmly and reassuringly, "But look now, the flow of time has begun again. We may not be able to bring back the moments gone by, but we can always start again." Young man, in amazement, watching the sand flow. "You mean it's not too late to start over?" Al-Hakim, nodding. "Exactly. Every day is an opportunity to flip the hourglass and move forward. What you see as an episode of failure is only part of the journey. We're not trapped by the time that has passed. We always have the ability to choose how to use the time that remains." The young man sits in silence, his mind rethinking the sage's words. His gaze stays on the hourglass, watching the continuous flow of sand. The young man sat quietly, contemplating the wisdom of the sage. For the first time, he realized that his life was not slipping away from him, but was offering him endless opportunities to start over, to choose how to live, how to grow, how to find purpose. The young man's expression slowly changes, and the tensions leave him. He looks at the sage, who smiles at him with eyes full of understanding. The young man stands holding an hourglass in his hands. He looks at the wise man. "Young man, thank you for reminding me that time is not my enemy." Al-Hakim, nodding. "Time is a tool, my son. What matters is how we use it." The young man leaves that place, his steps in the warm sunlight. He breathes deeply, feeling light and free. He was walking on the village road, and he still holds the hourglass. He looks at the distant horizon. The hourglass gleamed in the sunlight as he turned it over in his hand, his reflection appearing in the glass. When he left the village, the young man carried the hourglass with him, not just as a device for measuring time, but as a symbol of endless opportunities. And in the flow of sand, he found a simple truth. While time continues to move forward, we always have the power to start over. Let's choose how we create the moments that last.